So why academic performance is so important during adolescence? Because it depends actually the future educational and vocational opportunities that the student is going to take. It is also a positive psychological functioning in adolescence. We all have this positive psychological capital, we say, which is there inside us. So it is through hope, through optimism, all that the students are going to do better each time they are appearing for exams if the student is rightly encouraged by the teachers and taught by the teachers. When it is difficult for them to understand, they should have the accessibility to go to the teacher and clarify their doubts. Okay. So there are two key components of academic achievement motivation. One is motivation to succeed, and other is motivation to avoid failure. The motivation to succeed is determined by the strength of one's overall need for achievement and one's evaluation of succeeding on the task at hand and the degree to which one values the rewards. And then there is this motivation to avoid failure, which is determined by the strength of one's overall need to avoid failure. Some people don't like it when they fail, so they try to avoid it. They don't appear for they become dropouts. It happens when children are not encouraged properly, positively by the teachers. And there is this Rosenthal effect also. If you have studied about it, I don't know. There was this researcher along with his group. His name was Rosenthal. So he did a study. He found out in a classroom that he pointed out at a few students as the brilliant ones. And he said to the teachers that these are the brilliant ones, they will do well. Randomly, he said that. He didn't go through any test subject or anything. He said these are the students, they are going to do really well in the academics. So, depending on that, the teacher's attitude towards the students changed. So the teacher started paying more attention to the understanding, to the exams and how they are preparing. So automatically the teacher's attitude changed because of some important information was given to them about these students. Whether it is true or not was not questioned. It was observed that these students did really well in the exam. So this is called the Rosenthal effect. So this increases one's self-esteem and personality. The study habits are going to change. They will take more interest in study. The intellectual level will increase. Okay, so this is what it does. The teacher's role is so important to see. So, any question? Okay. Okay. When there is a gap between the student's actual academic achievement and academic performance, and how the student expects to perform well in the class, there is a difference. So, when the academic performance is unsatisfactory, it is the it is below the expected performance. So, if the student is not expecting to do well and he is getting more than that, it is a overachievement. So, academic unachievement refers to the student is not only to be able to perform the best of his or her ability, it may result into students having difficulties to complete their academic work. Okay. And there are many factors which affect academic performance during adolescence, like interpersonal factors, intrapersonal factors, and institutional factors, and there are also other factors. There are many researches done how to increase the academic performance and what are the determinants of academic performance in adolescence. And this is the finding. the factors they found out that interpersonal factor like parental engagement, parenting style, peer influence, all that is comes under interpersonal factor and it affects the academic achievement. Intrapersonal is within the person. When the person is self-motivated, he or she doesn't want any external reward or punishment or encouragement or motivation to do well in their studies. They know they have to study for their own career, so they continue doing well in their studies. Okay, and another factor is institutional factor. The school factor, the teacher-student relationship is very important. The teaching methods are very important when it comes to the institutional factors, which affects the academic performance. And there are other factors also like socioeconomic variables, parents' education level, occupation, gender stereotypes, cultural and religious beliefs. These are also important factors which can influence the academic performance in students. And there is also this learning style. What is learning style? For example, we all have different learning styles, right? Some people are visual enough to understand. If they see visual images, they will understand quickly. Some people are auditory dependent. If they listen carefully in the class, they remember quickly. So the learning style is very important. And it is said by Benjamin Franklin that tell me that and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So each individual has a unique way of processing the information, either visually, auditorily, or kinesthetically. So therefore, it differs from individual to individual on the basis of that preferred way of learning. Okay. So learning style is mostly defined as a particular way in which the individual learns. It is the mode of learning the individual prefers. So there are four styles of learning: visual, oral, read and write, and kinesthetic. Visual learners prefer to learn by seeing things. Activities like pictures, charts, maps, graphs, and the different colors that are suitable for them. Oral teachers, oral learners, they prefer to learn by using the sense of hearing. So they debate, they go to debate, they discuss music, audio tips, and video plus audio. These are suitable for them. Read write learners, they prefer to learn by reading the information and writing it down. Mostly you must have seen, the teachers must have seen that there are students who keep on writing during the exam. As the exam comes, they start writing also what they learned, right? So activities like taking notes, books or textbooks, handouts, then written feedback, multiple choice, essays, web pages, reports, all are suitable for them. Kinesthetic learners prefer to learn by carrying out some activities. Activities like field trips, working models, guest lecturers, real life examples, demonstrations, or any physical activity, collection of samples, etc., are more suitable to them. This is how the learning style differs among students. So, and while choosing a career for themselves, they have to be very particular because that is the career they are going to stick to almost all their life. These days, time is changing, so people are changing job But normally, what happens, you have to stick to a job for a longer period of time in your career. So, you have to choose it very carefully. It has to be stimulating enough to stick to that job. So, if the learner is aware of his or her learning style, they will integrate it to their learning process. So, they learn more quickly, easily, and they are going to be successful in their learning. This will help them for becoming more responsible for the learning and effective problem solver. Okay, so the interest level, how to increase the interest level? You always try to foster increase interest among students. Repeatedly, this has been the focus of education goals. This is one of the most important factors proven to be contributing towards the academic achievement. Like, for example, the student may be more interested in maths, or it could be biology, physics, computer, etc. But by discovering the academic interest, the student will pay more attention in class because the topic takes interest for them. Okay, so they will also be better prepared for life after high school, finding it easier to choose specialization subject also in college and create a career path as well. So the teacher also plays a very important role to create that sense of curiosity and to make the child take interest in the subject by the teaching pattern. Academic interest is understood as a unique motivational variable in enhancing academic performance. So interest has two psychological components. One is situational interest, the other one is individual interest. Okay. So both are going to decide the interest the child is going to take in the subject. Then comes lack of academic interest in students will result in learning weariness. It will be due to the individual factors along with the environmental factors. These are important predictors of academic achievement. Next, study skill. When the students enter higher class, their daily routine at school changes. Is there any questions, Subhash, Mr. Subhash? You raised a hand. Do you have a question? Okay, I'll assume there is no question. Okay. So when the students enter higher classes, the daily routine at school changes and the curriculum also becomes very difficult. So normally this period you will observe that the play time is reduced and the school pays more importance to studies. The school demands much higher level of student independence through the application of a range of independent learning skills. The skills are learning strategies or studying skills. Study skills are the skills that the students need to study and learn effectively. Okay, so there is this test anxiety children go through. The most common comment made by the teacher in report of the people you must have seen, you must be writing, would be doing better, can do better. All these feedbacks that you give to the child are often found as a part and parcel of students' life. Test take situations that are always anxiety provoking in the student's life is very much influenced by the remarks that teacher gives. So how the test anxiety feels like. Test anxiety has two components, mental and physical. The mental component of stress includes thoughts and worries about test, and the physical component includes feeling, sensation, and tension. Okay. Test taking has always been a part of every student's life, and highly test anxious students are found to perform poorly than low anxiety peers. When somebody is highly anxious about something, they tend to forget when the exam time comes. They study everything, they don't sleep even, they study hard, but when the real time comes to sit for exams, they don't do so well because of that anxiety levels. And there are other students also who are low anxiety students. They do comparatively better than such anxious students. Okay. During an exam also you must have seen students having confusion, not being able to understand the question. They panic, they are mental blocks, they feel like they don't understand the question because of stress. They faint, sweaty palms and nausea. All are These are all examples of how they go through anxiety. So some students experience mainly physical symptoms, and other symptoms include nervousness, fear, irritability, and a sense of hopelessness. These are all psychological in nature. Okay. Boredom is also a symptom of test anxiety. Frequent yawning. You must have seen students yawning frequently immediately before a test, and that is a common reaction. Either they haven't seen the whole night, they have the sleep pattern is disturbed, or out of fear they are yawning more. Then comes time management. It is very important for them to manage time, and it is, if it is guided by the students, teachers combinedly, it can be effectively managed. Time management is about planning and controlling the amount of time you spend on a specific task. It is the deliberate control of time spent on a given task. You must have seen students who are writing the time that they are going to give to each subject while preparing for exam. 10 बजे से 1 बजे तक ये पढ़ूंगा, उसके बाद ये पढ़ूंगा, ये चैप्टर रिवीजन करूंगा. This is how they set the time for each subject. So time management involves work, social life, family and personal interest and various tasks committed to time precision. So how precisely you are achieving the time that you are assigning for each job is very important. Research has shown that students who are purposeful in managing their time have better grade outcomes. They are more happier, they are happy and confident. In many cases, it is seen that due to lack of proper knowledge of time management, the students' academic success is not achieved despite the talent. Because they could not manage time, they took long to write the answers because they haven't prepared according to the marks each question carries. So they have lack of time during exam time. So there are tips for time management at JNV schools. So use a calendar to plan ahead. Make daily to-do list. Use ABC method of prioritize. A is must be completed today. B would be nice to finish today. C is can be pushed tomorrow if necessary. This is how you make a mark in your book or in your diary, then you can follow. And regarding time management, uh, You have to work on one project at a time. You need to take breaks, set deadline and goal, treat time like money, be realistic about time. Okay, this is how it is going to help time management in JNB students. Do the students come to you saying that we don't have enough time to study? The course is vast. Teachers,
Yes, sometimes.
what suggestions you have for them? What do you suggest to make them feel better and not feel anxious about the course load?
Believe on us, and time by time, what we are teaching, just concentrate on it. Uh,
Okay, because they have to cope with the challenges of academic overload. We understand that they are overloaded with academic um, activities. Most of the time, their academic life is very stressful and demanding. कभी क्लासरूम में टेस्ट, कभी फाइनल टेस्ट आ जाता है, sometimes there is surprise test, all that is taking a toll on them. They report experiencing emotional and cognitive reactions to the stress, especially due to external pressures and self-imposed expectations. They expect so much from themselves also. They don't want to accept failure as a result for themselves. So they also report numerous stresses during school period. These stresses include academic demands and social adjustment. The coping mechanism deals with school stress, which is very important because they're staying in the school, so the coping mechanism has to consider the school environment and they have to understand. Is there a question?
no, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm yet to be familiar with the way this functions, I cannot see when somebody is raising a question or raising a hand only. Okay. So this is how they overcome the reactions to stress. They want to be seen as successful. And there are students who cannot cope well under stressful situations. Then they start caring less. They develop the attitude of caring less and manifest silly behavior. You must have observed that these reactions lead to aggression, with extreme cases leading to delinquency. You must have seen students behaving abnormally. Suddenly they will. So, if we discuss the coping strategies among adolescent students, the coping is a complex set of behavior. When you talk about coping, coping is a set of complex behavior and thought process that individuals use to deal with stress and adversity. Any coping strategies that we adopt, it helps the individual to manage the problem that is causing stress and controls emotions relating to those stressors. Stressors are always present around our environment. So we have to identify these stressors and make peace with that. If we react to the stressors, it becomes more stressful. So it was also noted that more when stressors is viewed as controllable, they give rise to more proactive coping mechanisms. When they are viewed as uncontrollable, they bring or they give rise to more avoidance strategies, which is not good. Based on this understanding, the coping strategies are classified as task based coping, emotion based coping, and avoidance based coping. Okay, so problem focused coping is when the key factors are to success very expressive and proactive. They search for self worth, persistent, stubbornness, and determination. The most commonly used word is I will talk to people and get help. I will start a new activity. So, this is focused on the problem, the coping style. It is called problem focused coping. Emotional based coping, the second orientation strategy in the emotional oriented strategy, regulating your feelings and emotional response to the problem are involved instead of addressing the problem. So, regulating the emotion is very important here because the child will be crying or the child will keep sleeping most of the time because he is too stressed. So, the efforts are directed at regulating emotional responses to stresses. It requires them to reframe the problem in such a manner that no longer it evokes a negative emotional response. Hence, there will be less stress. So, the reactions of lack of confidence, self doubt, sensitivity to criticism, behavioral problems, school refusal, self blame, or aggressiveness are the results. These are well described in your book, also, you can see. These are all depicts descriptions of emotion based coping strategies. The most commonly used sentences are I get away and forget the problem temporarily. When people are emotionally based coping strategies using. I prepare myself for the worst is what they commonly say. I accept the problem as it is since I am not going to do anything about it. I cannot do anything about it. Okay, so these are all emotional based coping strategy. Avoidance based coping strategy. Avoidance oriented coping includes strategies such as avoiding the situation, denying that it exists, or losing hope. It also includes the use of indirect efforts to adjust to stresses by distancing oneself, escaping the problem, or engaging in unrelated activities for the purpose of reducing feelings of stress. So, out of these three types of coping strategies, which coping strategy you think is the best strategy? Problem focused, emotion based coping, or avoidance focused?
First one,
Problem
problem
focused.
focused first.
Yes, because they are trying to solve the problem by being proactive in nature and they will be in control of their life. They're not escaping the situation, they're not avoiding it, they're not being emotional. Okay. There are defense mechanisms which are involved in negative reaction. So, all that is important negative reactions are mentioned in a book also. They can lead to face saving, but ultimately they will prove counterproductive. Instead of increasing number of activating other coping resources to improving performance, failure would result in reactions. So, how to make career decisions during adolescence? Do they come to you for career making decisions or they decide on their own?
Sorry, madam. It is actually due to their interest.
Because of the interest. Do they share with you?
Not so often, madam.
Okay. Because it is a residential school, they would be seeking more support from the teachers, if not always, but sometimes they might ask you for guidance. Okay, so academic choices are the same as career choices. Career choice and academic choice is the same.
Not same, but they are related.
Yes, they're related. For example, you must have seen people getting into engineering, but then their career is focused on working in a firm as a HR person or something, or doing other works. They don't like anymore the mechanical kind of engineering. So their career takes a turn. So it depends on how students are looking at the issue. Sometimes academic and career choices could be the same, and sometimes they are different. It depends how the student is thinking about their interest, values, goals, their capability, as they are the ones who know their capability. They will know actually if I will continue in the IT or I have to change career because I don't want to continuously study programming language. Okay. So it depends on the student's interest rate. Career decision making is a huge task for the adolescent. We don't get to see their stress, but they are stressed about the career that they're going to choose, and depending on that, how much money their parents have to invest, if they have enough money or not, will they be able to crack the entrance code. All that is bothering them. They typically made their first career related decision in school. Normally, you would get a clear cut answer during high school from the adolescents what career they want. During this period, important decisions are taken for life, and adolescents are expected to gain an occupational identity. So, choosing a profession is also very important as a basic developmental task for adolescents. These decisions have lifelong consequences for the individual's vocational future. So, what are the problems in career decision? Career choice or career decision making may be defined as process that deals with how an individual makes career decisions or the circumstances surrounding these decisions. For example, if somebody's father is a doctor, they would be seeing doctor as a normal career they could be using as their parents. Career decisions are normally defined as the ability to use knowledge and thoughts in making career plan. And if the parents are in a particular career, they expect their children to be that, and the child also tries to follow the parents' path. Okay. So, career decision making, and some confident students have their own career in their mind, so they don't follow others' suggestions, they follow their own career decision. Career decision is making it's a process which is not only including career choice, but also it ensures take necessary actions to implement the choice successfully. So they will be taking proper care to understand the choices that they are making, and they will implement it successfully, slowly, step by step. You must have observed most adolescents describe themselves as undecided about their career choices. बड़ा होके क्या बनेगा तो पता नहीं. This answer also some students give, right? Or everybody is well sure about their choices. What do you think? All of them are clear about their career choices? No, right? or
No,
yes?
ma'am. No.
Yes. So, how to give them direction in choosing a career which will be good for them? So, with the limited knowledge and experience of occupations, because their parents are also not in a position to guide them properly, so they are sometimes very unsure about their career. So, their relatively undeveloped interest and skill, many students fail to identify their ideal career. For some students, their strategy for reducing this anxiety is by avoiding thinking about their career choice, which is again not a very good coping mechanism. They are in a cycle. They feel distressed, they worry a lot, that they escape the situation. Again, the thought comes to their mind. After each exam, they are asked about what to do after the next exam. Such is the trap. So adolescents have always a query that which profession they will be heading to and strive to obtain an occupational identity. Some of them even find difficulties in career decision making because of the rapid changes in the present time and technological developments. Another difficulty is that most students can be can be having general fear of failure. Lack of confidence in their own ability to make effective decisions is also important factor. Okay. So decision or indecision has been associated with a wide range of factors. Both individual and contextual factors are responsible for that, which contributes to career indecision. So the factors contributing to career indecision are inadequate family support, problematic interaction pattern and attachment, okay, and career related barrier and social support perception, self efficacy, believing regarding one's own career planning, identity related factors, decision making skills, coping strategies and vocational interest, anxiety, external locus of control, and perfectionism. Understood? What is external locus of control? Any idea? When you feel that the outside environment is not in your control, you are controlled by the external factors that is around you and you feel helpless. Okay, so that produces more anxiety in the youngster. So, career decision is one of the major life decisions. That is why we are talking about it as a major part of growing up during adolescence. Its consequences are about someone's existence, a good existence. After all, the art of success in life depends on greatly in choosing the right profession. The right kind of life will always include the, as a society views it, the making good choices about profession, about career. So individuals who are experiencing career decision making difficulty, they will make an inappropriate decision or the decision making process will not be good enough for them to cover their lives, a good part of life. Career decision making difficulties are the problems which need to be dealt with before making career decision. So career making taxonomy, if you look at that, there are lack of readiness, there is lack of information, there is inconsistent information. Sometimes difficulties encountered by the students or individuals in the process of career decision making are lack of readiness, lack of motivation, general indecisiveness, dysfunctional beliefs. Okay. And there are difficulties deriving from insufficient information encountered while individuals make decisions. Decision making difficulties emerging with internal and external conflicts with the effect of Unreliable information also is one of the factors. High school students may have many barriers which hinders their self-confidence or which impedes their self-confidence while making career-related decisions. The barriers or the roadblocks the students face include the students' socioeconomic status, include socioeconomic status, okay, difficulties deriving from insufficient information. Lack of information is also very important factor while taking career decision. So difficulty deriving insufficient information encountered while individuals make decision. These difficulties stem from lack of information about decision making process. So decision making difficulties emerging with internal and external conflict with the effect of unreliable information. The information that they are getting could be unreliable. It could be the internal external conflict that they have with the information providing agency. High school students may have many barriers which stops their self-confidence or which impedes their self-confidence while making career-related decisions. The roadblocks the students face include the students' economic, socioeconomic status, the education level of parents, and the access to accurate knowledge of potential occupations. Okay. So, what is the role of socio-demographic factors in academic performance and academic choice? Career decision making difficulties are related to environmental and individual characteristics. That we saw how the individual characteristics are also influencing career decision making, and the environmental factors are also important in influencing the career decision making, such as negative beliefs relating to choice of education, emotional and personality traits, self-efficacy perception, parental styles, emotional intelligence, psychological stability. All these are factors which influences career decision making. Okay, so role of socio-demographic factors are also important in academic performance and career choice. Academic performance of students is very much influenced by numerous factors, which could be socio-demographic status of the parents, residential locality of the students, gender, age, and school. It was shown through various researches that there exists significant positive correlation between socio-economic status and academic performance. Inadequate education and increased dropout rates also affects children's academic achievement. So when somebody becomes a dropout, what could be the reason? When we say there is an increase in dropout rate, what could be the reason? Any insight? Okay. So when children become dropouts, it is a major concern for the school also, because the education will be incomplete and inadequate information will be given to the child before a career decision is made, right? So it is very important to look into these areas also. It also shows that children's academic achievement is also resulting into low socioeconomic status of the community. If the children are not studying and growing in status, then their socioeconomic status in the community also reduces. Children from low socioeconomic status families, when entered high school, have shown literacy gap and fall behind these children in high socioeconomic status families. So again, I would refer to the same movie. If you have seen Hitchki, then you will see how privileged the rich people are to study and how underprivileged these young boys are who are living in Jhogi Jhopdi bastis. But the teacher's role plays such an important role that the child who comes from a very poor background could succeed and do better than the privileged group. So socioeconomic status of families are not always responsible for the literacy gap. Huh? So increase in the higher school dropout rate among adolescent students is highest in low income families as compared to high income families. Okay. Social class is also shown to be a very significant factor in influencing career aspiration. Social class. It is found that ethnic and socioeconomic barriers generally hinder individuals' vocational development. Okay. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So career barriers are significantly higher for those from poor backgrounds, for women, persons with disability, or from poor background people. It is a barrier to the career that they are choosing for their own self. Okay. So these from higher social class background tend to be more successful in developing career aspirations, and they're generally better prepared for the world of work because of access to resources as career offices, guidance, counselors, better schools, and family experience with higher education experience when compared to low socioeconomic status families. Low socioeconomic status families, students have never been exposed to better office images, or they have no confidence in their background, and they fear that they will not be able to get the money for studying in such higher institute. So that way they also have this fear of losing out and cannot compete with the people from higher socioeconomic background. You can facilitate two different student support services like Student Success Center and Career Guidance and Counseling Cell. There are two things that you can facilitate and help the students. Remedial support means providing a remedy for cure. Therefore, the main aim of the remedial support is to provide a remedy based on the lack of competency. Okay. So, the adolescent students need support during this crucial stage for them to function efficiently. Therefore, services such as student success report or remedial support and career guidance would offer much needed support for enhancing the academic and career choice. This is very important for them to go through so that they can do the right career choice. The Student Success Center will aim to help the student who requires additional support to cope with the demands of the academic control. Okay. So in such situations, what is the role of teachers in promoting academic achievement in JNVs? Some general points can be considered for the teachers, which may be helpful in promoting academic performance in the students. Like some general points to consider is teachers should be clear and consistent in articulating the classroom expectations. Okay, and to focus their attention on individual and collaborative learning goals helps them to achieve these goals. And they can teach things that are worth learning in ways which help the students to appreciate their value. and the teacher can help students to maintain their confidence as learners and approach learning activities with productive goals and strategies. Emphasizing informative feedback and not comparing or grading the students will do a lot of help to the students in career choices. And to strengthen liaison with parents and school administration will maintain a very amicable situation among the parents and students, and they can exchange notes about the development of the child and work towards it. The support to be provided by the teachers to the student is rebuilding non-motivated students' confidence, encourage students to function as autonomous learners, then they can reduce test anxiety of students. You cannot threaten the student, कल आओ देख लेना टेस्ट में कौन करता है फिर बात करना मेरे से. ऐसे threatening words will threaten the students and they will develop a fear for the subject and they might not do well. Okay. So action and the activities which is expected from the teachers are cultivate the classroom as most effective and powerful motivational tool. They can display an effective model and make the classroom learning very effective by their own effort. Then establishing different learning community in the classroom according to the interest and capacity of the students. Like there can be literary clubs, scientific innovative club, art and recreation club. All that can be taken care of for the students by the teachers who are responsible for such activities. You have to be authoritative in nature and socialize with students so that they can focus on helping the students learn what is expected and how to meet these expectations. They can arrange for students to periodically assess if their improving performance has positive effect on their motivation and learning. The key to rewarding effectively is to do so in ways to support students' motivation. Okay. And role of teachers in career choices. Do the teachers do such steps and JNVs? What we are discussing now?
Yes, ma'am.
You all
In
are.
Vignan Jyoti program, they have guidance and counseling sessions arranged for them, and career guidance will be given to them.
Okay, only career. We will discuss about the mental health issues also because all these pressures will be putting mental health issues in the students and how to handle it, which is commonly found in adolescent. Okay.
Okay.
So, role of teacher in career choices, they have to they have to have a working relationship between the parents and school. How frequently the meeting happens with the parents?
We actually have PTC meeting
Once in a month,
every
madam.
second Saturday.
PTM
Once
is
in a month. Once in a
once in a
month.
month. Okay. Do you feel it is giving good results?
No, ma'am, very few actually interact with this.
I know because they are not in a position to give career guidance to the students, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So in such a case, it is the role of the teacher actually to make the parents take interest and understand what the child will be good at, so that they can encourage the child to do the same thing when they go home, so that the child will know what the parents are expecting from him or her. Because there has to be some motivation in the child's life which will make them happy and their parents happy. If it is missing, then it will be very difficult to continue their emotional motivation in the subject. Emotional motivation, I'm saying, because they're emotionally attached to the subject because they are now aware that my parents will be very happy if I do this or that. Okay.
Madam,
Sorry? Yes, please.
madam, one question, madam.
Yes, ask.
मैडम एक बच्चा हमारा क्या करता है, वो छोटा बच्चा है, studying in class
Hmm?
6 or 7. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
he is trying to always move to the home,
Acha.
and his parents are also eagerly waiting that my child should also continue his study from the home. At this case, what type of counseling we will be giving to the
You must be having school rules.
school
How
rules is
frequently
there
the
that yes, ma'am.
you must be having school rules how frequently a child can go home, right?
Yes.
So always refer to the school rule book so that they will not pester you for sending the child to home. Hmm. When it
Actually,
is
what
not
happened,
written clearly, then it will.
no, madam. So many nuisance that child is also creating in the sometimes also in the house, creating the miscreants. This also sometimes it's coming to the
Then you
school
have to
and
find
school
out.
reaching to the school administration. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
In that case,
Sometimes you have to
how do
ensure
handle this?
actually. Uh,
Yeah, actually,
you have to
our
find out.
Vidyalaya administration is always following the Vidyalaya administration, the school rules.
Hmm.
But the parent is not
So
ready to accept
yes,
the school administration. So in
then
this
you
case,
can
how
see
to
the
handle or
rule
counsel the
and
parent?
read it out because most of the parents are not educated to go through the book, right? Or the parents are educated. If the parents are educated, it will be easier for them to understand why such a rule is present because they need a certain percentage of attendance in the school to be passing to the next session maybe or to appear for exams also. When they are not educated, it becomes a problem, right?
Madam, the parent is educated. He has some also political background also.
Okay. If the parents are educated, you can strictly tell them that this is the rule. Would you like to break the rule being a responsible citizen? Or you can send the child to the school counselor. There could be some issue which the child is not able to handle. So they are doing this. They want to go home. There must be some interesting thing happening at home, or the somebody is influencing the child to come home. So for that you have to, when it is not in your control, the school counselor is for that. When there is a dropout rate also or absenteeism, the school counselor will always help. That is why we have a counselor, not to correct notebooks, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Have you implemented these steps? Like going to the school counselor, it is mandatory for them to go to the school
Madam,
counselor if they frequently are.
everything is maintained by our
Hmm?
counselor also, our Vidyalaya administration,
Mm-hmm.
and also someone senior
Mm-hmm.
most teacher who has more experience in this field also. They are always trying to
Mm-hmm.
counsel both the child and also the parents.
Okay. Even then, they are not listening.
They are not listening. Till now, madam, also exam is going on, and father is
Okay.
coming. The child is giving so many. सर आज पेट खराब है, आज दर्द है, थोड़ा सा घर जाना चाहता हूँ. तो व्हाट बेचारा हाउस
अच्छा.
मास्टर क्या करेगा?
हाउस मास्टर बेचारा नहीं है, लड़का बेचारा हो गया अभी,
लड़का बेचारा नहीं
क्योंकि वो
मैडम.
बेचारा
मैडम एक्चुअली
वो समझ में नहीं पा.
वो बहुत शार्प माइंड है
You are
मैडम.
not audible properly.
Actually,
अच्छा.
madam, he is creating in one day one story, in another day
अच्छा.
another story. तो आज सपोज नॉट मैडम को बोल के कुछ प्लानिंग किया तो कल काउंसलर मैडम को बोल के थोड़ा सा कुछ बोलेगा, नेक्स्ट डे हाउस मास्टर को सामने थोड़ा सा रोल लेगा। तो ऐसा ऐसा सिचुएशन क्रिएट करता है कि लास्ट में एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इज व्हाट कैन दैट इज द लास्ट माने पोस्ट केस इन द विद्यालय।
So there is
छोटा
somebody at
बच्चा है।
home, somebody at home who is encouraging such things.
Yes, ma'am, right. Actually, the
So-
mother either father both are there.
So they must be encouraging it.
Yes.
So you have to take them into confidence and tell them that if you continue doing this and encourage the child to come here, then he will have difficulty in adjusting in the school also, where he will not be happy. So ultimately, the parents want the child to be happy. So when you say such things that the child is not going to be happy if you influence him to come to home all the time, then he will not be able to attend to a very important part of his life, which is schooling. So, will they? You ask them, will you be okay with that? That he loses his childhood by playing with similar age students and celebrating the school festivities, and along with that, the school rules says that they cannot go home. All this can be encouraged. You can encourage them and say the fact that your child will be happy because we have seen, because your experience matters a lot. Parents are one time parents, no teaching ability is given to them, so they will definitely listen to you if you talk about all these things, what the child is going to miss when he goes to home and what he is going to gain when he stays with the similar type of students. He's going to strengthen his social skills. He will learn more by adjusting with other children. That will not happen at school. Home. Okay.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Just try this, then we'll see if it is working or not. I'm sure it will work. If they're explained,
Obviously, madam.
if they're
Actually, we will
explained, they
try
will.
to provide them. Yes, ma'am. Parental care and parental motivation, we will try to provide him.
Yes, because
Yes,
they
yes, ma'am.
also they don't realize बाप माँ बहुत अंधे होते हैं प्यार में, जैसे कौन हमारे जो है धृतराष्ट्र, जो वैसे अंधे ही होते हैं, देख नहीं पाते हैं गलती कहाँ पे होती है.
Yeah.
So you have to point out that this is going to do good to your child. You just have to be patient. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So what is the role of the teachers in career choice? It is working. They just have to have a working relationship between parents and the school. See? Assess the career readiness skills, referrals to career counseling or guidance, encouraging the students to trust their own decisions, identifying closely any specific interest of the student. These are all roles the teacher can play in career choice of the student. Okay. So there is a counselor in each school, right? Is there any counselor in this group?
Yes, madam.
How many are there?
Yes, ma'am.
One
Okay.
male and one female.
Okay. In what way a career counselor can be effective? We'll see.
In some schools, ma'am, only female counselor is there.
Okay. Do they do the counseling seriously, or they do this note checking and all that more?
Ma'am, they are there for counseling work, but apart from other class arrangement duties also they take.
Mm-hmm.
And they are still in learning process because they have completed their course only. But theoretical knowledge is there, practical aspect they are unaware.
Okay. Because the more separate role the counselor plays, the children will respect the counselor more thinking that this person is totally for me when I'm feeling low or when I'm having psychological issues. He'll not get confused. है ना? कल तो बात किया था इससे पढ़ाई के बारे में, आज कैसे ये काउंसलिंग कर रहा है, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं बच्चों को. So they will not open up properly. Okay, that could be a possibility. I'm not saying it ऐसा ही होगा, but बहुत सारे सिचुएशन में ऐसा ही होता है. They will not trust the counselor because the counselor is seen doing note checking, then writing the questions, taking extra classes. Then suddenly the counselor is sitting in a chair where counseling is provided. The teacher sees the same counselor who was taking their extra class day before. Okay,
Yes.
it will affect them. So they should serve as common ground. Teachers have a very interpersonal network in place when students and parents can get significant power when it comes to career decision. Teachers actually are more responsible for the career choice and they are better at it than the parents because they know students well enough. The parents don't know the student well. So the teacher understands the inherent strengths and areas of improvement and they can give a very close sneak peek idea into the student's interest to the parents. Isn't it? कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि पेरेंट्स ने बताया आके कि ये इसमें बहुत अच्छा है?
Sometimes.
Okay, from their observation. And does it match with the student's teacher?
Yes.
Okay, then you stick to it. Sometimes they try to impose their profession into the student's life. It should not happen. The career choice should be individually chosen. No parent can influence the child to follow their profession. That way they will grumble and they will complain once they grow up. अभी तो पता नहीं चल रहा है, बाद में गुस्सा करेंगे, मुझे नहीं बनना था, मुझे बना दिया गया. This is what exactly they will say. So you try to see what the child wants really in life and what is the quality that he has or the skill set which will help him to achieve that. And teachers can initiate classroom discussion while discussing subjects. It can be a trigger point for career and possible streams that the student can opt for when they enter class 11 and 12. Okay, so when career is discussed as organic plug-in as a part of subject extension, students would be intrigued and become an active participant in their career journey. You must have seen that, right? When you start a discussion on career, which doesn't involve any class that day, the teachers will be more participative in nature along with the students. Isn't it? Or you don't enjoy talking about career and all that? Meanwhile, when you are handling such questions, you can address the stress-related issues. It could be the parental pressure, peer pressure, teachers' expectations. Students are more likely to take wrong career decisions without any proper guidance. So a teacher can conduct an intervention program with the student and guide him or her to the career counselor as the need arises. Then you can take the teacher is not supposed to know everything. So the counselors that you have in your school have a particular way of extracting things from the child and knowing exactly what they want in future. So there will come a time when you feel that the counselor will be more helpful. So don't hesitate. You can take the child to the counselor. Okay? And teachers can guide students to be more focused. Like extracurricular activities are there in the school. So take up the subject accordingly depending on their interest. Teachers can help, like music, dance, dramatics, painting, etc., or quizzes, internships, summer programs. All these are available. The teachers can improve their interest by just explaining them the things. Okay. Then comes another component which talks about mental health. What is this mental health? What is this mental health? Have you ever gone to a mental health practitioner for your own mental health? It has health in its name, mental health. So, have you ever seen a doctor who is a mental health practitioner? Yes?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes?
Ma'am, actually, as for my opinion, mental health talks about the mental well-being of of children
Hmm.
for any situation, the circumstances a child faces.
Mm-hmm.
In those circumstances, how does he or she deal,
Mm-hmm.
and what mindset he or she applies?
Okay. So, mental health only applies to the child, not to the teachers. It
Ma'am,
does apply.
obviously, it applies to both.
Okay, because you are dealing with the difficult children most of the time, so your mental health is also going to get affected, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Stressful situations you're handling so many things. So mental health is nothing but your overall health, which includes your mind also. Your
Yes,
spiritual
ma'am.
health, you can talk about mind, body, spirit, as we say. So everything included is proper healthy individual it will form. So in such a case, we are focusing right now on adolescents because we are trying to understand and managing their issues. But that doesn't mean that teachers don't have mental health issues, or for that matter, other people who are working in school. Okay, because adolescence is a difficult phase of life, hmm, the developmental period that they go through, like from childhood and adulthood, ranging from 10 to 21 years. It is a transition both physically and psychologically happening in the child. Physically, he is growing up in height and weight and beard, mustache, all that grows. And in children, in girl children also, they get their periods and everything changes. They become shy of their appearance. They start taking interest in the other sex. So there are many changes. Okay, so the changes can appear earlier or later. Hence, we can roughly divide the adolescent stage into three stages that we were discussing yesterday: early adolescence, middle adolescence, and late adolescence. Okay. Considering the transitional stage that these adolescents are going through, they're very vulnerable in matters of health. It is estimated globally that 14% of adolescents experience mental health conditions. that remains unrecognized or untreated. Imagine 14% of adolescents are not identified as having adolescent issues. So it is the role of the students, teachers, those who are dealing with them, to identify the issues that they're going through and send them to the right person, that is the school counselor, or if there is some visitor that comes once in a week who deals with medication, the psychiatrist or somebody, to refer them to the psychiatrist or psychologist accordingly. Okay. So considering adolescence as transitional, you are highly susceptible to being socially excluded. You feel discriminated, stigmatized, and it affects their academic performance also. The risk-taking behavior. Have you seen the youngsters who are driving the scooty or motorcycle so fast? It is the hormone that controls them, right? As they are growing up, they are trying to make sense of their life by experience, and their hormones are risk-taking hormones. So they want to do everything which is risky. So sometimes they violate the human rights also. And what needs to be taken care of in such adolescents when it comes to their mental health, and how to maintain the balance between their mental health and their well-being when it comes to academic achievement. Okay. So you have to identify the various factors that can cause mental health problems in adolescents. Then what is the implication of mental health problems on academic and socio-emotional functioning in adolescents? Okay. So these are the requirements. So how to understand the concept of mental health? What is mental health? The WHO has defined mental health as a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Okay. So psychological well-being at the minimum includes the presence of positive emotions and moods. When we talk about health, mental health, it is about positive emotions and moods. If you don't have positive emotions in your life, you will be always bitter, isn't it? So you will be chidchida all the time, and you won't talk to people nicely, and you would think everything is wrong, going not in my way, and what I am doing here, I should not be staying here. This is not doing any good to me, or I should leave this place. All these thoughts comes to mind. Okay, so there has to be contentment and happiness regarding the mood. So the negative emotion should be absent. Is that possible? When we are saying the negative emotion should be absent, how easy or difficult is that? I'll give this real life example. When a girl came to the school and near the parking area, she collapsed. And it was thought that she is having fits. So she was taken to the principal's room and was given rest. Then the parents were called. So the parents behaved as if nothing has happened. So they took the child and they said, sometimes it happens to our child, so it's nothing to worry about. But the teachers were very concerned because that was the first time they were seeing that child in that condition. Okay, so in such a case, what should be the right attitude by the teachers and the students? Because it happened in the school. The situation where it happened is in the school, so we have to consider the situational factors which triggered maybe, or something happened to the child, or something was told to the child. We don't know. So,
Hello. Good evening,
yes,
ma'am.
good
Ma'am,
evening.
actually, we have a similar case in our school as well, and the girl is right now studying in class 12 science.
Okay.
Anjali Dhumaste is her name, and usually,
Mhm.
ma'am, even once it happened when our autumn break classes were going on.
Okay.
Actually, at that our PGT bio ma'am was taking class, and
Mhm.
suddenly she collapsed, ma'am, there in the class itself.
Okay.
See, so if I talk about the reaction that our ma'am had taken was the perfect reaction. She did
Okay.
not care whether the boys are carrying the girls or the girls are there. Two boys and two girls. Suddenly
Okay.
they brought them down from the bio lab there, and
Mhm.
then primarily we also informed her parents.
Mhm.
No doubt our ma'am was also very much worried.
Mhm.
But immediately after taking the parents in confidence, we carried her to the hospital and then she was normalized.
Okay.
She was okay, ma'am. But in the
Okay.
beginning, actually, we were quite worried.
Okay. And after that, she has shown such a symptom.
Yes, ma'am. She had a problem.
She had a problem. Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
how you react to the situation also matters, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, when we are talking about positive emotions and negative emotions, the situation can be negative, but how positively you handle the situation is important, right? So, if other students are also howling by seeing the child, or they are cooperating by keeping quiet and sitting in their place, and only few helping hands are there, so all that matters how you handle a crisis situation in your classroom or inside your school premises, right? So we cannot say that mental health is only the mental health which is concerning our well-being. It has to come to the point of realizing the potential and coping with the normal stresses of life. So that such a situation that you described, sir. So does it mean that it was an abnormal situation for the girl to have? Or it is a normal situation? What do you think? It is a normal situation, or it's out of the blue it happened and it should be given more importance? Okay. So when you talk about mental health or physical health, both are the same. Each one is related to each other. So you cannot separate mental health saying it is a part of the mental health only and it has nothing to do with the body. And similarly, you cannot say that body health is different and it has nothing to do with the mind, right? So when you are feeling not feeling well and you are depressed or in a low mood, if somebody calls you to go for a movie, will you go? You won't feel like going, right? You will make some bahana and say, आज पेट खराब है, आज बुखार है, कभी और चलते हैं, है ना? Right? Or to go out to eat, or to have a fun time. Will you go or you will not go? because the advantage is more in going out with the friend. You will have a nice time. He would say that we are going to enjoy, come. But you are feeling so low, you don't want to go. So you are giving examples of having a low physical health, like stomach upset or fever or something, which is not making you feel good. Okay. What will be your take on that? Any answers?
Ma'am, usually from our day-long working,
Mm-hmm.
before our evening assembly, we
Mm-hmm.
this is the time for our evening assembly right now. Otherwise,
Okay.
at 6:15 we are having. Due to examination, it is rescheduled.
Mm-hmm.
So before our evening assembly, at least for an hour, we are going for evening walk, and
Okay.
whatever the stress or strain we are experiencing throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
we are capable of handling it. And even
Okay.
this walk is also working as a stress buster for us.
Okay.
So
Very
three or
good.
four teachers are going outside,
Okay.
and it also refreshes our mood.
Okay. So it shows that body and mind are so closely related. When you are physically active and diverting your mind from the current situation and going for a walk, it is doing good to your mental health, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So everybody is not the same. I mean, not privileged like you people who gets time for a walk and everything. So,
Ma'am, out of our busy schedule, we have to plan. Otherwise,
mhm.
throughout the time we are engaged, so anyhow we have to manage.
Okay, very good.
We have because we are sailing on the same boat, ma'am. All the JNV
Yes.
teachers, all the staff,
Mm-hmm.
we have the same timing across the country.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is a very good way of handling both physical and mental stress. But everybody is not so lucky. So they what they do is they try to avoid the stressful situation. आज मन नहीं कर रहा है कभी हो जाएंगे ऐसे कर करके they just suppress their emotions, which is not good. So imagine its effect on the family they are staying in and how it is going to affect other members also. Okay. So understanding the concept of mental health is very important so that we can help on your dear ones uh, as it comes or through the proper intervention program by the experts who can get help. Okay. So, for example, if you are in a school, I mean, you explain it so nicely. So, when you are going for a walk by making a proper plan, it reminds you that you are in control of life. Remember, we came across a word like external locus of control when I was telling you the points, which makes you feel helpless. There is this internal locus of control and one is external locus of control or field independent and field independent it is called. So when you are in this external locus of control condition, you imagine yourself to be controlled by the external factors, then you will have more stresses in your life. When you have internal locus of control, you would know this is the situation only, I have to deal with that. You improve your situation by focusing on the problem. There were many coping strategies we discussed, three strategies. So you will focus on the problem solving attitude, coping strategy, and accordingly you will be coming out of it in no time. Some people just stay in that area for days together. Then they have to take clinical help. Okay, that also happens. Okay, and
Yes, ma'am.
stress during adolescence. Imagine the stress this adolescent group is going through because they have other stresses. Stresses are minor incidents in the environment which, for example, आज आते हुए जाम हो गया, गिर गया कोई, और चिट्ठी नहीं आया, बहुत दिन हो गया घर से, और कॉल नहीं आया, ऐसे ऐसे छोटे मोटे काम जो होते हैं, they are not big stresses, but they are micro ones which have the potential of putting stress on the mind of the adolescent. So it is very important to have a stressful it is very common to have a stressful adolescent in your school who is going through many changes, which is sometimes dramatic and rapid also. Okay, so you must have seen people getting students getting aggressive with each other. Even if they are friends, they get aggressive and hit each other in the school ground, playground. It happens, and they carry it to the classroom also. It happens. Have you ever?
Yes, ma'am.
So, what do you do?
If it is possible to counsel them in our level, we do counsel them.
Okay.
Or else we have a counselor in our school.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we suggest them to visit him,
Okay.
and actually we also try to follow what has been done.
Okay. Okay. We have to separate them from the playground, saying that it was a situation only and context was different. It was a playground. We have to teach them how to compartmentalize life situations so that everything doesn't get mixed up. Otherwise, they will be always confused and they will be more stressed. So it was contextual in nature. It happened in the playground. It should be left in the playground only. They should make peace with each other and come for the class, so that in public they are accepting each other as friends again. Normally, which they don't do easily, but if you make it a habit, they will know what they have to do once the play period is finished. Okay, so problem focused coping strategy they have to be taught so that they will focus on the present problem and will not carry it to the different areas in their life. Otherwise, they will carry it and they will not talk to each other. They will lose some friends because they have some common friends. They will not talk to each other because they're talking to the other person who is not their friend. Such things will continue. Okay, and it will continue and start more stress in their life. So in such situations, you have to separate them from the situation and separate them as individuals who have their own identity. So accordingly, it has to be handled by you. And when it is out of control, you can call the counselor to handle it. But I think by the teachers, it can be handled when you know what exactly has to be done at that time. There is something called psychological first aid. We have heard about first aid, but there is something called psychological first aid. Okay, in psychology first aid, what we do? What could be the procedure in psychological first aid? For example, if somebody is crying inconsolably, रोए जा रहा है, उसको बोलने से भी सुन नहीं रहा है. Okay, so in such a situation, you have to use them, call them separately and talk to them nicely so that they will share their emotional experience with you, because they feel helpless at some points. The adolescents feel helpless because they are staying away from their family also. So this first aid will be very important for them to trust people again, because they are emotionally motivated to function in situations. So that is why all these youngsters are actually committing suicide. You must have seen, right? पहले तो इतना नहीं होता था, आजकल क्यों हो रहा है ना? Very young kids are committing suicide. What could be the reason, and can it be prevented? What do you think? You have been dealing with so many students. What is your take on that?
Yes, ma'am, it can be prevented if you are more vigilant about the student behavior.
Yes, sometimes they talk about it all the time, and sometimes they are so impulsive in nature, they do something to them, self-harming behavior is there. So we will see in detail what all these self-harming behaviors are and what are the mental health issues that they are going through. Tomorrow maybe, not today. Okay. But the stress in adolescence is very important to be handled properly. Both the journey and process as experienced will be stressful based on their environment and individual factors. So you have to separate each one as a problem focused coping strategy. You have to teach them, you have to tell them how to separate these trivial things in their life. It may appear as a very big thing to them at this age, but they need to learn actually how important it is to be having psychological capital, which is very positive in nature, so that they can have resilience, hope, and optimism, all that in their life, and which is going to help them in future. Okay. So there are many factors which stresses the adolescents. The students are a mix of all types of socioeconomic status, right? Everybody is not from the same social economic background, isn't it? Or they are the same.
Yes,
There are
madam.
different.
Okay.
Different backgrounds.
Yes. Does it affect them visibly? Do you feel
Yes,
that it?
sometimes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So poverty is one of the most significant factors that affects the adolescents. Okay. That is why the importance of school uniform is also important, so that they will be wearing the same kind of food, same kind of dress, will have the same kind of food, everything, so that there is less difference between them. Okay. So when they find a friend or peer to be having a better lifestyle or material objects, they will be also wanting to have similar objects, because there will be a competition to have what their friends are having. Okay. So poverty is one of the most significant factors which affects the adolescents visibly or hidden, in a hidden way. They are comparing themselves to those who are having better opportunities than them. Okay. And family and relationship is also very important. Children who come from different types of homes, like joint families, nuclear families, or single parent families, their attitude towards life will be different. They can be very happy, well nurtured, and loving families, or from broken families also. Okay. So some students have seen, they are also very small children, so they must have witnessed the parents fighting, they have endured domestic abuse and violence, mother being beaten by the father after they get drunk and come home. All this happens at home. So sometimes they get very depressed by witnessing all this at their own home. Sometimes they don't want to go home also. Is there any child who doesn't want to go home?
Yes, ma'am. Maximum number of cases we have of such
Yes,
nature.
yes.
So I
It
think in each class, one or two cases are already there.
yes, it could
And
be the
no
reason.
doubt, either the mother or father, either of them are living away. And many a
Okay.
times they are very much refrained or they don't want to go back home.
Yes.
And it also affects their growth or their performance, academic performance.
Yes. It debilitates them actually. They feel harassed, they feel neglected, they feel uncared for, and they don't want to go home because they will witness the same again negative thing at home. That is why they don't want to go. School is a better place for them. They want to stay in the school. So the parenting style and the differences between parents and children can be stressful also. What kind of parenting style they are adopting? Is it authoritative? Is it they are threatening the child all the time, or they're taking out or their anger on the child, or they are neglecting the child? All these parenting styles are important in deciding whether the child will be happy in a family life or not, because they are forming their ideas about different things in life by watching their parents also, the grown-ups who they trusted as better people. Now that they are seeing them in different light.
Actually, in maximum cases,
Huh?
the housemasters or the teaching staff in many situations do not come to know what
Uh-huh.
exactly the family background or the parental these children do have. Although they are already behaving in a different way,
Uh-huh.
they are feeling very much insulted or humiliated. They are not
Uh-huh.
participating in group activities.
Uh-huh.
So many a times when we do not come to know what kind of family background they have, whether
Uh-huh.
they are from joint family or the nuclear family,
Uh-huh.
here comes a problem how to handle them.
Yes.
Because on one hand they are behaving very differently, and on the other hand we do not know their family background.
Yes. Because they're still growing. They are not full grown-ups. So they're trying to make sense of the situations that they're seeing at home and at school, why there are differences and what they study in school books is different. So they're trying to make peace with the negative situations that they are witnessing. Okay. And they cannot open up suddenly to the counselor that my parents are fighting all the time, they are beating me in that process also, all of a sudden. And it happens in schools or in homes also. Okay. So family relationship is very important. What kind of homes they are coming in. Then children may experience conflict while meeting their needs and aspirations, because the family is so dysfunctional. They are not paying attention to the child's wishes and they don't know motivate the child to do anything in their life. They are so consumed with their own fights and abuses. So they cannot confirm the dreams and aspiration of the child. Okay, so they consider some family members and relationships as stressors. So it has its influence on the psychological well-being of the child. So what to do? They cannot stay for all the time in the school. So we have to, in the parent-teacher meeting, broach the subject and make peace with the child and parent, asking them to behave properly, because it is the parents' role again to make a good child out of their own effort. The school teachers have different role to play, and it is their duty to show the child that there are better things in life which they can look for by refraining from fights and negativities. Okay. And significant stresses and challenges are also there. The generation of adolescents is facing. These adolescents are actually growing up increasingly in intense digital area. They are learning the digital code, the digital life they are enjoying is much more interesting than what they find in the real world. So they don't want to go home, but it is again unrealistic in nature. They cannot live in the phone for the life to come. So the technological advances, the media influence, restricted personal socialization, and increased socialization using social media has caused a big difference. They see in social media everything is so goody goody in nature, and in their family things are not the same. So that plays a confusing image in the mind of the child. The difference between real life and their perception of a real life is very different. Okay. So increased violence using technology also sometimes happens because they have seen their parents doing that. They want to use the internet to do cyberbullying, stalking, critical comments. All this negativity comes from them because they have seen only negative situations when it comes to family life. Okay. And they're so dependent on the feedback from the social media, like the comments that they get or the trolls that they get to hear about them affects them very bad. Okay, so all that has to be taken care of. Their phone time has to be restricted, and they should be playing and interacting more with the same child group, and they should be made to understand when there are difficulties arising because of family situation. By bringing the parents and teachers and child together, they can reach amicable understanding that the child is very important for them. They have to prioritize the child. Okay. Is that all for today? It's going to be 7.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll discuss more interesting
Sure, ma'am.
child
Sure.
diseases tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you
Thanks
all.
for this fruitful session, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, ma'am.
Good night, all.